Hi there, this is Bruno from Spainguru.es, your portal and community for Spanish immigration. We're going to talk about the types of arraigo in Spain or social integration, and make sure to stay until the end of the video because I made a few slides with the main takeaways about this type of residency permits. Let's go with it. One of the cases of temporary residence included in the immigration regulations is that of temporary residence authorization due to exceptional circumstances of integration, and that's what arraigo means. But how many types of arraigo or social integration permits are there? Next, we will explain each of these assumptions with their main characteristics and differences. The first one, arraigo familiar or family integration. The first authorization that we can list is the arraigo familiar. This is the temporary residence authorization for exceptional circumstances that may be granted to foreign citizens who are in Spain and, one of the three, either they are the father or mother of a minor of Spanish nationality with whom they live, or if there is no coexistence with said minor, they are up to date with their parent-child obligations. Likewise, this type of permit may also be processed for people who provide support to the person with a disability of Spanish nationality for the exercise of their legal capacity, provided that the applicant who provides said pay is in charge of the person with a disability and lives with her. The next one, in the case of the accredited spouse or common law partner of a citizen of Spanish nationality. Also, in the case of ascendants over 65 years of age or dependents under 65 years of age, descendants under the 21 years of age, or dependents over 21 years of age of a citizen of Spanish nationality or of their spouse or common law partner. An authorization will be granted for 5 years that enables you to work as an employee and self-employed. And next one, in the case of children of a father or mother who were originally Spanish. Therefore, this type of authorization is limited to those who are in either of the two cases mentioned. Next type of arraigo, arraigo laboral or labor integration. In this case, the labor integration is a temporary residence permit for exceptional circumstances that may be granted to foreign citizens who are in Spain with a continuous stay for a minimum of period of 2 years and have had employment relationships for a minimum of 6 months. In addition, you must prove that you have no criminal record in your country of origin or in the country in which you have resided for the last 5 years. As we said, the fundamental pillar to be able to process and obtain this employment settlement is to have had labor relations lasting at least 6 months. For the purposes of proving the employment relation and its duration, the interested party must present any means of proof that proves the existence of a previous employment relationship carried out in a legal situation of stay or residence. For these purposes, the performance in the last 2 years of a work activity that supposes, in the case of activity for others, at least a 30-hour weekday in the period of 6 months or 15 hours a week in a period of 12 months, and in the case of self-employment, a continuous activity of at least 6 months. It is very important that in order to process and obtain this permit, it is necessary and mandatory for the person to be in Spain irregularly. Therefore, those people who today have, for example, the application for international protection in process will not be able to access this authorization. One of the most important changes that have been introduced with the reform of the immigration regulation in relation to the labor arraigo or arraigo laboral is that all people who have worked on their own account have been incorporated, something that in the previous arraigo was outside said permit. Next one, arraigo social or social integration. Another of the best known arraigos integrations in Spain is the social integration or arraigo social. You already know that it is a permit that is granted to those people who are in Spain a minimum of 3 years continuously and have a job offer, have their own financial means or those of a family member, or are going to carry out an activity for their own account. As you can see, we have several options. The first one being they have their own financial means or those of a family member, as we said before, go start your own company, or if you have a job offer that guarantees at least the minimum interprofessional salary or the salary established where appropriate in the applicable collective agreement at the time of the request, and whose sum must represent a weekly working day of not less than 30 hours in the global calculation and guarantee at least the minimum interprofessional wage. The contract may have a duration of at least 20 hours in case where it is proven that minors or people who require support measures to exercise their legal capacity are in charge. More than one employment contract may be submitted in the following cases. In the case of agricultural sector, in the case of the development and activities in the same or activity occupation, working partially or simultaneously for more than one employer, the presentation of several contracts will be accepted. And as we said, let's jump to the main takeaways of types of arraigo in Spain or social integration. Arraigos are Spanish temporary residencies. Arraigo familiar or family integration, father or mother of Spanish child, spouse of Spanish citizen. And could be also dependent of Spanish citizen. Then, arraigo laboral or labor integration requires continued stay for a minimum period of 2 years, had employment relationships for a minimum of 6 months, and very important, mandatory for the applicant to be in Spain irregularly. And then last, we have arraigo social or social integration for people who are in Spain and have a job offer or start own company, a minimum of 3 years in Spain, they have to be continuously, and own financial means or those of a family member. Alright, those are the main takeaways. These are not the only characteristics, as we said. The content in this video and article is no financial or tax advice. As you know, this is based on internet research and personal experience. If you are looking for immigration experts, you can go to spainguru.es and you can find all the links for the experts that you need. And of course, you can join our community today. We have a very large immigration group, Spain Immigration and Residency Questions, where you can ask all the questions you want related to the immigration topic in Spain, and you can do it anonymously. Last but not least, you can join also non-lucrative visa group, Spanish digital nomad group, which is here, and you can also register and subscribe to our Spainguru's weekly newsletter, where we feature top discussions in our communities. This is free to opt in and opt out anytime, so make sure to join. Thank you so much for watching. If you think we are adding value with these videos, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any information and news that we upload. Thank you so much for watching. This is Bruno from Spainguru.es. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.